I've learned so many different ideas, but this one I thought was really brilliant as well. And that's, don't gift at the time that they're expecting it or that other people gift, but gift at times where it's unexpected. And so it lands better. And so I'd love for you to share any of your other strategies that are really important on the gifting front.
Yeah. So what I would say is that most people, when they're gifting, they start with the what. They want to start with cool, sexy. And guys are the worst at this because we shop with our eyes. We're like, hey, we want a piece of technology, or I like steaks, so I'm going to send steaks, or I love wine and cigars or golf. We're going to send everybody Pro V1s. We're going to send everybody like Opus One. And it ends up not landing because it's all about them. It's all about what they want. And the what is the seventh step. If you look at our recipe of how we're putting together a relationship plan for somebody, the what is the last step. The who is way more important than the what. And so as we're walking through, it's like, who are your top 100 relationships or your top 1,000? What is the value of those relationships? Most people, when they're investing in business, they're like, hey, I want to invest $100,000 and I want to get this return on investment, internal rate of return, or over 5 years, I want to get this. Relationships are the same way. You should be taking a percentage of your profit. And let's just say each of your relationships is worth $50,000 in profit. You should be reinvesting 5 to 15% of your net profit back into that relationship to keep them, to grow them. Hopefully you cross-sell or upsell or, grow with them. And then the secret sauce is, if you can get that person to go advocate and sell on your behalf and duplicate themselves, whether it's as an investor, bringing in other investors, or if it's an employee recruiting their family and friends to come work with you, like it should be a math equation. And most people, gifting is this like obligatory woo-woo, warm, fuzzy thing. You check the box because it's a 5-year anniversary, or you check the box because it's Christmas. And if you only show up for your wife or your husband on anniversaries, birthdays, and Christmas, like those are table stakes times. Like you don't earn brownie points, like that's expected. But if you can show up, the timing of it showing up to your point, I call it just because gifting, or we call it planned randomness, like laying out like 2 to 4 times a year, I'm just going to love on this person. Whether that's your spouse, if you just show up on random Tuesdays and say, hey, honey, I booked a spa for you, like kids are taken care of, go. You earn 1,000,000 times more brownie points. Same with a client. If you only do gifts after deals are done or after referrals are given, those are like, you say you're in the relationship business. When are you giving gifts? When are you loving on them? At transactional times. You do this, you get this. Whereas if you show up for that relationship, that client, that investor, that employee, just because, the exponential value of that goes up because they're like, wow, they did this because they wanted to, not because they had to. So that whole recipe process, so many people are like, John, I did giftology. We have a swag budget. Who cares? We cut it. When the chips are down, we cut it. And I'm like, that's interesting. Are you doing giftology? And they're like, well, we're doing giftology-ish. And I'm like, oh, well, let me tell you, if you decide to bake bread 100,000 times, and each time you don't put in yeast, guess what you don't get any of those times? You don't get bread. You get matzah, you don't get bread. So the little things in relationships, it's the handwritten note, it's the timing, it's all of that makes the difference. And so if your tribe wants to go download our entire recipe, like our entire playbook of what we take the Cubs through, or Google or anybody else, they can go do it on their own. If they hire us to walk them through it, it's going to cost thousands or tens of thousands, but they can do it on their own for free. You go to Giftology system, and literally like our step-by-step of who, when, how much, what, all of that's there. Because most people will take it and they'll be like, wow, they'll download everything, they'll get all the relationships, and then they go to do it and they're like, oh my gosh, it takes a lot of energy and effort to play Santa Claus year round. To actually do this well and not cut corners, it's not rocket science. All the recipes there, but it's like, man, if you miss one little detail, you could actually spend money to damage a relationship. And that happens all the time and people don't realize it. Like slamming your logo on something and thinking it's a gift, that's a manipulation. People do it all the time. They send Tiffany stuff and Rolexes with their logo on it. And the person gets it's like, you honestly think I'm going to use this Tiffany's vase out with all of my clients? That's the tackiest thing in the world. But it's been taught for decades as branding and marketing. So what we walk people through, so many times people push back and like, I don't like the knives. I'm like, the gift isn't for you. I want to put my logo on. I'm like, the gift isn't for you. I don't want to handwrite the notes. I'm like, then it's automated and it won't land. It won't feel personal. Do you want this to create results, or are you just trying to check a box? And so after they walked through the process, they're like, crap, like this is actually a strategy. This isn't just an expense. And that's what flips the like, if everybody was good at this, it would be like noise. But because people suck at this so bad, and when they show up for people this way, like oftentimes they're moved to tears. And that doesn't happen in business very often unless you really connect with somebody's heart. And that doesn't happen by just outsourcing it and not following the details.